Let's go.
Wait.
You don't like when I chew on the video?
No. I know if you're not going to chew. If you chew, then do it at your leisure.
Amar Rav.
Have a new picture.
We're up to Daf Mem. Be'ezat Hashem. Be'ezat Hashem Daf Mem. Amar Rav. Rav says, Tul beruch, eno tzarich levarech. What are we talking about, Rashi? Tul beruch, habotzeah, kodem sheyit'am min haperusa. The person who's making the hamotzi, before he tastes the piece of bread, batzah mimenu, he broke off a piece. V'oshit lemi she'eslo, and he gave it to someone next to him. V'amar lo, and he told him, Tol mi perusata beracha, take from the piece of the beracha. Afal pi shesach bintayim, even though he spoke in between, en tzarich lachzor uvarech, he doesn't have to go back and make a beracha. V'afal gav tisiha havya hafsaka, even though normally speaking is hefsek, mi damrinan b'minachot, like we said in minachot. Just plug it in and it'll be okay. Sah, ben tefillin le tefillin. If he spoke between tefillin to tefillin, tzarich levarech, you have to speak. So you see that speaking is a hefsek. V'chem b'chisui adam, the same thing. Hach siha, tzorech berachahi. This siha is for the beracha. V'lo mifseka. If I'm giving out the bread to other people that I'm yotzeh with my beracha, that's also part of the beracha. Velo mifsekan, it's not considered a hefsek. Haviu, okay, so that's him. Tol beroch, here, take from the beracha, eno tzarich levarech. Habe melach, habe liftan, but if he tells them, bring me salt, he made the beracha, he wants salt for his bread. He says, bring me salt, bring me liftan, tzarich levarech. He has to make a beracha. Why? That's not part of the beracha. You want your bread to taste good? That's your business. Rabbi Yohanan Amar, Rabbi Yohanan says, Afilu habiu melach, haviu liftan, even if he says bring salt, bring avocado, nami en tzarich levarech. He doesn't have to make a beracha. Rashi, habiu melach, nami en tzarich levarech, she'avzu sorech beracha. This is also necessary for the beracha. Sheteheh pirusa shel beracha ne'echelet beta'am. That's like a hidur mitzvah. That the pirusa that you made a beracha on. Normally, to a certain degree, we don't think like this. We think that you make a beracha, it allows you to eat. But it doesn't convert the piece of bread that I made the beracha onto a chatichat mitzvah. But over here you see, sheteheh perusa shel beracha. There's a special quality to the piece of bread that I made a beracha on, that I should eat it b'ta'am, because I made a beracha on, and this is the first piece I'm eating. That's also, when you make a beracha, it should taste good. It strengthens your Judaism that you made a beracha and it tastes good. Okay, so that's important too. Givil Torah. If he says give food to the animals, tzarich levarech, he has to make a beracha. But Rav Sheshat Amar, Rav Sheshat says afilu givil Torah. Even if he says give food to the animals, nami eno tzarich levarech, he doesn't have to make a beracha. So what's up with the animals? And what if I tell him turn on the TV? It's also not a hefsek. Anything?
No, they're supposed to be the animals first.
Thank you. So if he says givil Torah, gavil tamursan b'mayim, mix the mursan letzorech hashevarim. Why is it not a hefsek? Says the Gemara, the Amar of Yehuda, Amarav asur le'adam sheyochal. It's asur for a person to eat. Kodem sheiten ma'achal behemto, before he feeds his animal. So since it's asur for you to eat before you feed the animal, so therefore that's also not considered a hefsek, because it's related to the eating. But now, Rav Shesh, who was it? Rabbi Yohanan, who said that Gevila Torah is a hefsek. Why did he mention Gevila Torah and not turn on the TV so that Rav Sheshet could come and argue with him? No. He knew that you have to give food to the animals before you make a bed, before you eat, and he still said it's a hefsek. Why? Because what does it have to do with your beracha? At least if you tell me, bring me avocado. So the piece of bread that I'm holding for the beracha, I don't want to eat without avocado. So it's shayach to this piece of bread. But you're telling me Gevila Torah, yes, it's related to eating. Yes, it's related to eating, but it's not related to this piece of bread. Take a bite and then tell him to.
Are we talking about lechatchila or are we talking about the
Lechaora, we're talking about the avad. Aval Gevila Torah nami eno tzarich levarech. The Amar of Yehuda, Amar of Yossi, Rav Asul Adam Shiochal Kodem Shiitem Machal Beimto. How do I know? Sheneemar Venatati Esev Besadecha Levhemtecha Vehadar, and then it says Ve'achalta Vesavata. Says again, Tosfot says, Habe Maim Tzarich Levarech, Dahave Esei Hadat. V'hachi amar beperek gimel de menachot, that speaking is esei hadat tzach ben tefillin letefillin. Somebody spoke between the tefillin shel yad and the tefillin shel rosh, where the beracha of the tefillin shel yad is really going also on the tefillah shel rosh. Tzarich levarech, he has to make a new beracha of his faradim al mitzvah tefillin on the tefillin shel rosh. V'chen halacha imsach ben berkat hamotzi la'achila uben berkat kiddush l'shtiyah. He spoke between the hamotzi and the eating, between the kiddush and the drinking. Tzarich lachzol varech, he has to go back and make a beracha. Ilav milta deshaycha leseudata. Unless it's something that has to do with the meal, kigon tol beroch, or v'chem b'shechita. If he spoke between the shechita of one animal and the next l'chaora, tzarich lachzol varech. Ilav milta deshechita, kigon העוד, כמו העוד יותר בהמות, are there more animals ותרנגולים לשחוט, או שיאמר, or he says, אחוז היטב, hold good, שלא יישמר לך, so it doesn't slip, שלא תיפסל השחיטה, אין זו הפסקה. ואנו, now תוסף, okay, this we could wait a little bit for this one. In the Shulchan Aruch, this is all brought down lahalacha, Kuf Samach Zayin, Saif Vav. Maran says Yochal miyad, he should eat right away. Velo yasiach, he shouldn't speak ben beracha la'achila. Ve'im sa'ach, and if he spoke, tzarich lahazor ulvarech. Ela im ken, hayta hasicha, unless the speech was bidvarim me'inyan devarim shemevarchim alav. If it was about things that have to do with the beracha, kegon שברך על הפת, וקודם שאכל אמר אביהו מלח. Right? He said, bring the salt, oleftan. תנו לפלוני לאכול, let this guy eat. תנו מאכל לבהמה, feed the animals. אין צריך ברכה. הגהה מכל מקום, even though it's not הפסק, לכתחילה לא יפסיק כלל. לכתחילה you shouldn't speak at all between the ברכה and the eating. Between the hamotzi and no, this is not discussing the tila yadayim. This is talking between the hamotzi and the eating. Lo yafsi klal. He says, okay, we'll get to that soon. Now, katav hamagen Avraham. The Magen Avraham said, b'shem sefer hasidim, the lishtot. No, after the beracha. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, bring the salt. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. His father's there. He says, here, give this to my father. He didn't eat yet.
But that's part of the beracha, to get the salt. You can't finish it.
It's not part of the beracha. When I make a hamotzi, it's not part of the beracha. Okay, okay, Moshe. Yes, you very well could. But the Gemara, that's the chidush of the Gemara. Since it's a mitzvah to have salt with it, that's not considered hefsek, it's me'en the beracha. Okay, but whatever it is, it's part. That's the chidush of the Gemara. That's not considered hefsek. It's not part of the beracha. It's a chidush that the Gemara gave you. Rav said, if you say haviu melech, it's hefsek. if you went to Rav's house, he would tell you, make another beracha. It's not pashut. The Gemara was mehadesh that this is not considered hefsek because it's in order to eat the bread better. It's a hidush. And giving ma'achal be'ema was a hidush of the Gemara. It's halakha l'ma'aseh. It was not. Maran is posek like Rav Sheshat, yes. The
Liftan is what?
Liftan is avocados, anything that makes the bread, because it makes the bread taste better. Not you're already thinking along the lines of Kabbalah. The Gemara doesn't seem to be saying that. Eating with the Liftan makes it taste better.
Could have very well been cream cheese, Moshe.
Could have been cream cheese, that's right. Now, the Magen Avraham quotes, Katava Magen Avraham b'shem Sefer Hasidim. The Lishtot, when it comes, this is what we said, that you're not allowed to eat before you feed your animal. That's talking about food. Aval, to drink, Adam Kodim. Like we see by Rivka, she said, Sheteh, v'gam gemalecha ashkeh. Over here it says ashkeh. What should I tell you? Maybe you're right. I don't know what it says. Let's see the Gemara further. The Amar Rava bar Shemuel mishum Rabbi Hiya. En abotzea rashai livtzoa. When you're making a hamotzi for a lot of people, he's not allowed to make the hamotzi. Ad sheyaviu melach o liftan lifnei kol echad ve'echad. Till they bring the salt or the dip in front of each person. It sounds like each person had his own bread, but you're going to make the hamotzi for everybody. So everybody has to be able to dip his bread into salt to eat it tasty. Ve'amar Rava bar Shemuel. Sorry, Rava bar Shemuel ikla leberesh geluta. He came to Resh Geluta's house. Afiku lerifta. They brought him bread. Ubatza lehedya. And he made the hamotzi right away. He didn't wait. Amru le. The same rabbi that said the story, he said you have to wait till they bring salt in front of everybody. He made the hamotzi, he didn't wait. I don't know. Amru le hadar mor mishma'ateh. Were you hazer bo? Now you say you don't have to wait. Amar lehu let den tzarich bishash. Look in Rashi. Bishash ikuv. Kemo boshesh rochbo. Kelomar pat nekiya hizu. White bread. That doesn't need anything. It goes down by itself. It's only whole wheat bread or something like that. Needs salt. Barley bread. But when you have white flour bread, it goes down without salt. Tosafot says, Ve'anu, in the middle of the Tosafot we win. Ve'anu en anu regilim le'avi ala shulchan lo melach ve'lo liftan. Mishum de pat shelanu hashuv. Our bread is hashuv. Ve'arehu Ki hada amar besamuch, it's like what we said later. Let den tzarich beshash. Miu, Rabbi Menachem, haya medakdek meod. He was very careful. Lehavi melach ala shulchan. Why was he careful to bring salt on the table? Because kedeita b'midrash, keshi Yisrael yoshvim ala shulchan. When the Jewish people sit on the table, umamtinim ze et ze ad sheyitlu yedehem. And they're waiting for one another to make netilat yadayim. You see, this problem of waiting for netilat yadayim didn't just start now. It's an age-old problem. Yeah? Vehen belo mitzvot. So normally they're sitting on the table, how they're talking divrei Torah, right? The whole time. As soon as he made netilat yadayim, you started talking. As soon as he made kiddush, right away you started with divrei Torah. But now that you washed and they're not talking anything, right? Vehen belo mitzvot. Hasatan mekatreg alehem. The Satan prosecutes. Ubrit melach megin alehem. And the Brit melach protects them. That they shouldn't, what's it called? That it shouldn't, the Satan shouldn't be mekatreg.
What's the Brit Melach?
Melach is a Brit. Hashem made a Brit. Berit melach olam.
Is there a story behind it?
Hashem made a Brit with the melach. Maran says in Saif Hey, Lo yivtze'u, they shouldn't make the hamotzi, ad sheyaviu lefanav melach o leftan, till they bring him salt or a dip lelafet bo pirusata b'tzi'ah. Ve'im nikiyahi, but if it's white bread, or shehi mitubele b'tevalin, or they put in spice, they made it tasty, or b'melach ke'en shelanu, they put salt in the bread like ours, or shenitkaven le'echol pat hareva, he's on some type of avelut for the Beit HaMikdash program and he's not. He's only eating dry bread without salt. Eno sarich lamtin, he doesn't have to wait. Hagaha mikol makom mitzvah la'avi al kol shulchan melach kodem shivtzah. It's a mitzvah to bring salt on the table before. Different reason. Ki hashulchan domeh lemizbeach. The shulchan is like a mizbeach. V'ha'achila, and when we eat ke korban, it's like a korban. V'ne'emar al kol korbanecha takriv melach. V'hu megin min hapuranut. It protects from trouble. That's the Tosfot. Kemo she'amru hashulchan domeh lemizbeach. He says, like it says, the shulchan is domeh lemizbeach, like it says, b'zman shebeit hamikdash kayam mizbeach mechaper al adam. Achshav shulchano shel adam that you give to poor people mechaper alav. Dichtiv vaydaber elai zeh hashulchan shelefnei Hashem. V'ha'achila, when a person eats, why is that like a korban? Sheha'adam ochel lehazek kochotav. You eat to strengthen yourself. Ve'al yedei zeh yeheh bari v'chazak la'avodat Hashem. Katvu HaMekubalim, the Mekubalim wrote, L'tbol perusat hamotzi b'melach gimel pe'amim, to dip it 3 times in the salt. Okay.
Sorry, Shemuel, everybody had white bread.
What?
Everybody had white bread in the story with Shemuel.
What's Shemuel? Over there, it was either white bread or it was mitubal. One of the two, that was the case. It was in the Resh Kiluta's house, it was good bread. Okay, mitubal is spiced up, they put some good stuff in it. Za'atar bread or something good. Okay, now we have some practical health advice. V'amar Rabba Bar Shmuel mishum Rabbi Chia. Rabba Bar Shmuel said, in the name of Rabbi Chia, en meraglaim kalin ela bishiva. Urine doesn't come all the way out of the body. You don't get it all out unless you're sitting down. Rashi explains, en meraglaim kalim min aguf ela bishiva. Lefi she'akiluach karov lefsok. When the stream is about to stop, hu doeg, he's afraid, if he's never urinal, they're going on the floor is going to splash. So when it's far away and it splashes, it doesn't get on his shoes. But when it gets close, shelo yiplu nitzotzot haraglav, he doesn't want it to drip on his shoes, umafsik, so he stops early. So he's never going to finish the miraglaim, but when he sits down, he doesn't have a problem. Amar Rav Kahana says, ube'afar tihoach, if it's soft dirt, afilu ba'amida, even standing, because it doesn't splash, it gets absorbed. Ve'ileka afar tihoach, if there's no soft dirt and there's no place to sit, ya'amod b'mkom gavoa v'yashtin, go to a high place v'yashtin l'mkom midaron, because it doesn't splash, it drips down. The Amar Rabba bar Shemuel mishmed Rabbi Chia, achar kol achilatcha echol melach. After everything you eat a little bit of salt. After everything you drink, shetei mayim, drink water. And you won't be damaged because it's a healthy practice. Here you see Hazala taking the time to tell you how to be healthy. Tanya nami hachi, ahar kol achilatcha echol melach. After everything you eat salt. Ahar kol shtiatcha, after everything you drink, shetei mayim. V'yatan nazok. Tanya idach, another braita. Achal kol ma'achal. If he ate any type of food, v'lo achal melach, and he didn't eat salt. Shata kol mashkin. If he drank any type of liquid, v'lo shata mayim. Bayom, in the day, yid'ag min re'ach hapeh. This causes bad breath. Ubalayla, and at night, yid'ag mepene askira. He should worry about askira. Rashi says askira bun malt. Here. Holy amatchil bun mal pirush askira. Mean holy agaron hamechanek. The Likutei Rashi says holy amatchil b'me'ayin v'gomer b'garon. On Wikipedia, askira comes up as diphtheria. Yeah, which is they get a very severe swelling of the throat. Guy in I think the late 1800s, he came up with the first treatment that they used to just stick a tube down the throat, because this way, when the throat expands, it doesn't suffocate the guy. That was the first treatment that they had for it. The first treatment was that. Now, even now, I mean, they pretty much the vaccination. No, the vaccination. Steroids is not what they use. The vaccination pretty much wiped it out. But in places where they don't vaccinate, in the Soviet Union after it broke up, the whole vaccination system broke down. They had an epidemic of cases, tens of thousands of cases. What they do treat it with is they treat it with an antitoxin. This bacteria that's there creates a toxin, and that causes the inflammation. So they treat it with an antitoxin.
How much quantity of salt or water to drink?
Doesn't say. I don't know. Tanu Rabbanan. Hamakpeh achilat. The Gemara says, Lamavet totzaot. There's 903, I think, types of death, and we said the most painful is askera. Tanu Rabbanan. Hamakpeh. What? Tanu Rabbanan. Hamakpeh achilato. Rashi says askera comes because you're constipated. And if you drink water and you eat salt, it will loosen you up. Tan Rabbanan, hamakpeh achilato b'mayim. If somebody floats his food with water, he makes his food float with water, he drinks a lot of water, eno bali de holim me'ayim. He won't come to stomach aches because he'll always be loose. That's why the Rambam says in Ilchot De'ot that a person should always see to it to keep his stools loose. Not to the point where it's a problem, but it should be looser rather than firmer. Kama, how much? Amar of Hizdah, kiton lepat, a pitcher for a bread. Amar of Mari, Amar of Yohanan, I don't know. Haragil ba'adashim, someone eats lentils ahat l'shloshim yom, at least every 30 days. Monea askera mitoch beto. He prevents this askera from his house. Aval, probably. Aval kol yoma lo. You shouldn't eat it. You shouldn't eat it every day. My ta'ama mishum de kashe l'reah hapeh, because lentils bring bad breath. The Amar of Mari, Amar of Yohanan, haragil behardal. If he eats mustard, ahal l'shloshim yom, every 30 days, monea hola'im mitoch beto. He prevents sickness from his house. Maybe the mustard have like a antiviral type of effect. Aval kol yoma lo, not every day. Mishum de kashe, my ta'ama mishum de kashe lehol shadeliba. It causes a weakness of the heart. I'm not sure exactly how. Amar Abhiya bar Ashi Amarav, haragil bedagim ketanim. Somebody eats small fish, eno bali de holi me'ayim. He won't have stomach aches. Velo'od, could be other stomach sicknesses. Velo'od ela shedagim ketanim. Small fish, mafrin umarbin umavrim kol gufo shel adam. They multiply, they make more healthy a person's whole body. No question. There's a lot of healthy things in fish. It's not, nowadays people are very big onto fish. Ela sheda kol gufo shel Amar bi Hama bar Hanina. What about goldfish? Haragil beketzach. If somebody eats ketzach, ketzach is that nigella seeds, the little black seeds that they put in the ka'ak and in the string cheese, right? Haragil beketzach, habtil barakeh, right? That's what it is. It's habtil barakeh. Haragil beketzach enu bali de ke'ev lev. He won't have heartache. Meitivei harashbag omer. Ketzach echad mishishim samaneh hamavetu. Habtul barakeh is one of 60 spices of death. Vayashen lemizrach gornof. They have a harvest of it, and you sleep to the east of it, where the west wind will blow on you. Tamo berosho. Your blood is on your head. Lo kasha. Habereho betamo. The smell will kill you, but the taste is healthy. Emed Rav Yirmiyah's mother. Af yale rifta. She would bake him a bread. Umad bekaleh. She would stick the habtal barakeh on it, and then she would bake it, and then she would take it off, so he wouldn't smell it, but he would get the taste. Rabbi Yehuda Omer boreh minei deshaim. Rabbi Yehuda says you make boreh minei deshaim on the different on the grasses. Says the Gemara Amar Rabbi Zera v'itema Rabbi Hanina bar Papa en halacha Rabbi Yehuda. We don't hold like Rabbi Yehuda. We make boreh pri adama on the ziraim, and on the dishaim, and on the perot. The Amar Rabbi Zera, Amar Rabbi Hanina bar Papa, my ta'amad Rabbi Yehuda. What's Rabbi Yehuda's reason? Amar Kira, it says in the Pasuk, Baruch Hashem, Yom Yom. Bless Hashem day by day. V'chi bayom mevarchim oto, balayla em mevarchim oto. You only bless Hashem in the day and not at night. Ela lomar lecha, to tell you. Kol yom vayom, every day. Ten lo me'em birchotav. On every day, bless Hashem for the type of berachot of that day. Rashi explains, B'Shabbat me'en Shabbat, b'Yom Tov me'en Yom Tov. Every day the tefillah and the beracha has to be along the lines of that day. Maybe that's why you have to say the tzeh halitzenu and ya'aleh v'yavo birkat hamazon, because b'chol yom ten lo me'en birchotav. Hachanami, so to here, kol min v'min, every different type, ten lo me'en birchotav. Give it a beracha along its type. So the Yehuda learns like from there, just like the days we specify the berachot, so to the minim, it's better to specify the berachot. V'amar Rabbi Zera, v'itayma Rabbi Hanina bar Papa, bo re kamsi, shelo ki midat HaKadosh Baruch Hu midat basar vadam. Midat basar vadam, kli rekan, if something is empty, machzik, you could put stuff in it. Maleh, if it's full, eno machzik, it doesn't hold. Aval, HaKadosh Baruch Hu eno ken. Maleh machzik. If it's full, it holds. Rekan, if it's empty, eno machzik. Shene emar. Vayomer im shamoa tishma. If you will surely hear, but he's being doresh the shamoa tishma, each one separately. Im shamoa, if you heard, tishma, you'll continue to hear. Ve'im lav, and if you didn't listen, lo tishma, you won't hear at all. Davar achirim shamoa biyashan. If you heard the old stuff, tishma b'hadash. You'll hear the new stuff, or you'll understand the new stuff. Ve'im yifnei levavecha. But if you stop paying attention, shuv lo tishma, you won't hear again. Rashi, im shamoa kli maleh adam chacham. That's by Hashem. Adam chacham, he hears more chokhmah. Im shamoa pa'am achat. If you listened one time, sovcha shetateh ozen pa'am acheret. Or im tishma biyashan sheshanita v'shilashta ma sheshamate ishtakad. If you reviewed what you learned yesterday, then you'll understand more the next day. So the more you learn, the more you understand. Ben Ish Hai gave an interesting point of midat basar vadam kli rekan machzik male'enu mahazik. He says a woman, when she's empty, when she's not pregnant, she can become pregnant. When she's pregnant, she can't become pregnant. Rekan machzik, the empty one, if she's not pregnant, machzik, she becomes pregnant. Maleh eno machzik. But by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you're full of chokhmah, you can get more chokhmah.
How would Tanakama answer Yehuda in regards to
Kol yom vayom? I don't know, I didn't see. Berach al pirot eilan. If he made a beracha on the fruits of the tree, boreh pri adama yatsa. Ve'al pirot haaretz boreh pri ha'etz lo yatsa. If he made a adama on ha'etz, he's yotzeh. If he made a ha'etz on ha'adama, he's not yotzeh. Pashut, because the fruit of the ground, the fruit of the tree comes from the ground. The fruit of the ground doesn't come from a tree. Ve'al kulam, on everything. Im amar she'akol niya b'dvaro yatsa. Man Tana, the Gemara asks an interesting question. Man Tana d'ikar ilan arahi. Who's the Tana that holds that the main part of the tree relates down to the ground, and therefore if you made a ha'etz on the ha'adama yotzeh, and we don't say kanere that the tree is mafsik from the ground, and we don't consider it coming from the ground. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Rabbi Yudai. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says it's Rabbi Yudai. The Tanam we learned. Yaveh shama ayam v'niktzatza ilan. If the tree dried up, it's talking about if person is bringing bikurim. Look in Rashi. Yaveh shama ayam v'niktzatza ilan hayalo bet shalchin. If he had a field that had to be watered, ubo ma'ayan, and he had a well in it, so therefore made it easy to water. Shehu mashkeu mimenu, and that's where he gave the water from. V'katzar bikurim mimenu. So he chopped the bikurim. Ve'amar ve'achar kach, and after he cut the bikurim, Yavesha Ma'ayan, the well dried up. So his land, the source of his land is not there. V'chen sadeh ilan, if he had a tree, a field of trees, an orchard, v'katzatz bikurim imenu, and he chopped the bikurim, v'harkach niktzatza ilan, and then the tree was chopped. So the Gemara says, what's the Mishnah say? Yavesha Ma'ayan v'niktzatza ilan, mevi ve'eno koreh. He brings the bikurim, but he doesn't read. He doesn't say Mikra Bikurim that we said last week, right? Because because his land, right? She'enu yachol lomar min ha'adama asher natata li. He can't say from the land you gave me. Tikivin de'yavesha ma'ayan, since his well is not there. V'niktzat za'ilan mimena batla la'ar'a. The place that you got this from is gone. The ma'ayan and the tree that gave you this fruit is not there anymore. Rabbi Yehuda Omer mevi v'koreh. Rabbi Yehuda says you bring and you read, because even though the ma'ayan is not there, I could bring water from somewhere else, and even though the tree is not there, but the tree came from the land, and even though the tree is not there, the ar'a is there. So you see that according to Rabbi Yehuda, the source of the tree is the land, because I could still be koreh, I could still read my mikra bikurim even though the tree is gone. I say that the land is the source. That's the way the Gemara says. According to that, it seems like it's a mahloket. What's the ikar? It's a technical mahloket. Tosafot says an interesting pshat. I don't understand really so well how to fit it in the sugya here. Tosafot says, Yesh mefarshim lekach mevi ve'eno koreh. The reason why he brings and he doesn't read is because now something bad happened in his land. His tree got cut down. L'chaura, it's bad. The well dried up. For sure it's bad, right? When he's going to say ha'adama asher natata li, when you say asher natata li, you could say it in a good way and you can say it in a bad way, right? When Adam Rishon says ha'isha asher natata imadi, he natna li min ha'etzlah, that wife that you gave me, she made me, right? He wasn't thanking Hashem for Chava. He was complaining, right? So now he's going to say kekobel al ma shenatan lo adama. When he's going to say min ha'adama asher natata li, the land that you gave me. Look what happened to it. What kind of business is this? He's complaining. So therefore, mevi ve'eno koreh. If that's the case, then what does Yavesh HaMa'ayan have to do with our sugya? The truth is, I didn't see it inside, but the Mefarshim say that Harambam is actually posek both ways. He's posek like Tanakama, that Yavesh HaMa'ayan mevi ve'eno koreh. And he's posek that you can make ha'adama on ha'etz. If you made ha'adama yotza. According to our sugya, there's a stira between the two. It could be according to Tosafot, it's better. If the reason over there, maybe Tosafot saying yesh mefarshim is maybe there's other emoraim that explain the sugya over there differently. This way I could be posek like both. Over there, it's not because bi'ikar, the land is gone. Everybody agrees the land is the main thing. Question is, does it look like a complaint? Okay. The Gemara continues, al perot haaretz. If he said on perot haaretz, borei peri ha'etz lo yatza, he's not yotze. Says Gemara pshita, of course you're not yotze if you say borei peri ha'adama. It didn't come from a tree. Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak lo netzrecha ela leRabbi Yehuda. We need it for Rabbi Yehuda. The Amar who says chita min ilanhu. Rabbi Yehuda holds that weed is a type of tree. The Tanya, where do I see that? We have a braita. Ilan she'achal mimenu Adam Rishon. What was the tree Adam Rishon ate from? What was the Eitz Hadat? Rabbi Meir Omer gefen haya. It was a grape. She'en lecha davar shemevi yelala la'adam el hayayin. The things that brings the most trouble on a person is wine. Shene'emar, you see by Noah. Vayesh min hayayin, vayishkar, vayidgal betocha. Right? So he drank, he got drunk. What? Yeah, he ate the grape. No, but that's the biggest problem in the world is the grape. Maybe over then it was so good and got ate the grape was like wine, right? Rabbi Nehemiah says, "Te'ena haita." It was a fig. How do I know? Shebedavar shenet kalkelu bo netkenu. The thing that they messed up with, they got fixed with. No, who's willing to be an accessory to the crime? The te'ena. They made this in with us, so she's willing to fix with them. Shene'emar ve'itferu ale te'ena. Rabbi Yehuda Omer chita haita. It was wheat. She'en hatinok yodea lekrot abba ve'ima ad she'yitom ta'am dagan. The child doesn't know how to call daddy, mommy till he eats a little bit of wheat. At that point, he already starts getting smarter. So therefore, you see, it's an etz hadat. You see, it's da'at. What is the da'at? The da'at is the wheat. It gives knowledge to the kids too. So you see that Rabbi Yehuda holds that a hita is a tree, or was a tree. And therefore, you might say, according to the Biyudah, b'di'avad, if I made borei pri ha'etz on wheat, I should be yotzeh. Because it's a tree, it's the etz hadat, kamash malan, that you're not yotzeh. Nobody holds it's an apple.
What's the conception that always
Goyim, Goyim may have no, the tree is apple. The Ma'aseh, the Ben Ish Chai says very, very cute thing. He says all the opinions are true, and they ate from the grape. The Mekubalim say that's why we make Kiddush Friday night, because they ate it too early. If they would have waited till Shabbat, they would have been able. So we wait till Shabbat and we make Kiddush on the wine, and we metaken the Het of Adam Rishon. And that's good enough. We pray early is good enough. He should have prayed early. We eat from the te'enah, because it's the te'enah and from the chita. He says, what's the abbreviation of those three? Gefen, te'enah, and chita. He says it has to do with the shalosh regalim. Tahog. Shalosh regalim. Tahog li bashana. On each one of the hagim, we metaken one of these. I don't remember which one he said. And he says Rashi tevot, the Sofei tevot, chita, te'ena, and gefen is hineh. And that's what it says. Rishon l'Sion hineh hinam. I don't remember what the significance of that was. Okay. I like to say, what do you mean a chita? Chita is a tree. The Gemara says in the next line, Periya, heicha mevarchinan, Periya, kamash malan, heicha mevarchinan bore periya. When is it a tree? Heicha dechisha katle lepere, when you take off the peri, ita legavza, the tree stays, behadar mafik, and the same tree is going to give you the next year. Right? Heicha dechisha katle leperi, when you take off the peri, leta legavza, the stem goes away. The hadar mapik, that it won't give out the next year. Lo mevarchinan ale bore pri ha'etz ela bore pri adama. So that's the kamash malan. That even though in the Torah it's considered an etz, maybe because this stalk is hard and it's slightly woody. Kamash malan, that in order to be an etz ligabe beracha, it has to be with such a quality that when you take it off, the tree stays. And you make it, and what's it called?